Good day, friends. You've stumbled upon unexplained creature encounters. I'd like to just take a minute to thank everyone for watching and supporting my channel. And if you haven't subscribed or given any likes, take some time to consider it now. It'll help my channel and make sure that all my videos will be easier to find. We'll be bringing a variety of creatures, cryptids, and critters into the mix, along with some stories of our own. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get right into our video.
Spring Hill Jack is an entity in English folklore that was sighted in England in the early to mid-1800s. The first accounts of Spring Hill Jack were made in London in 1837. The most secondary literature claims that Liverpool, England was the site of the last sighting reported in 1904. The first account of Jack came from a businessman who was returning home late from work and described he was startled when a mysterious figure jumped over the high railings of a cemetery and landed directly in his path. Although no attacks were reported, the submitted description of a muscular man with sinister features including large pointed ears and a nose was unsettling. He also had protruding glowing eyes. The alleged attacks on Lucy Scales and Jane Alsop, two teenage girls, are perhaps the most well-known of the alleged Spring Hill Jack incidents. The newspaper gave the Alsop report a lot of coverage. Sightings. Here are some of the 19th century sightings. Mary Stevens, in October 1837, was attacked by a cloaked figure while traveling to Lavender Hill through Clapham Common. The attacker leaped at Mary Stevens, then grabbed her tightly to prevent movement before sexually assaulting her and ripping off her clothes. The attacker fled the scene as the girl screamed in terror, and despite a thorough search, no sign of him was ever discovered. The following morning, Spring Hill Jack jumped in front of a coach in Mary's neighborhood. The coachman lost control and had an accident. He then let out a horrifying shriek of laughter before leaping over a 9-foot-high wall to flee. In February of 1838, Jack assaulted two young women. Jane Alsop was next. She was at her father's house on the evening of February 19th when she heard a knock at the door and a voice asking her to bring a light because he had caught Spring Jack in the lane with heels. She discovered a waiting figure in a cloak as she flung open the door. The moment the man received the candle and abruptly threw off his cloak, a most hideous and frightful appearance was revealed. He spat blue and white flames on Jane's face with fiery eyes before ripping off her gown and scratching her arms and neck with ice-cold metallic claws. But when Jane's sister showed up, Jack took off. Again on February 28th, 18-year-old Lucy Scales was traveling back with her sister from their brother's home in Limehouse. As they passed the Green Dragon Alley, Lucy encountered a man in a large cloak who suddenly spurted out some blue flame onto her face, impairing her vision and setting off violent fits that lasted for hours. The Times, a British daily newspaper, chronicled the incidents throughout and contributed to the legend's growth. Sir John Cohen, the Lord Mayor of London, made a public announcement in which he read out a lengthy complaint from a concerned citizen that included various accounts of Jack's assaults as the victims of Jack grew in number. A few years later, in the 1870s, there was a fresh round of sightings. Aldershot Barracks. One of the more notable attacks were in August 1877. A sentry at the Aldershot Barracks in North Camp, Central Road, encountered a strange figure who approached him and repeatedly slapped him in the face. A guard fired at him, but was ineffective. The figure then abruptly vanished in a series of astonishing leaps. A few years later, a salesman driving a coach and buggy reported Jack leaping out of the bushes, startling his horses, and ultimately crashed his vehicle. Jack then surprised the driver, slapped him multiple times in the face, and gave out a maniacal laugh that curdled the salesman's blood as the spring-heeled smacker again vanished into thin air. Lincolnshire. Spring-heeled Jack is said to have been spotted in a sheepskin at Newport Arch in Lincoln, Lincolnshire in the fall of 1877. He was allegedly pursued and cornered by an angry mob, and just like in Aldershot earlier, residents fired at him ineffectively. He was said to have used his unusual leaping skills to lose the crowd and vanish once more. Not many sightings after that were reported, and Spring-heeled Jack disappeared into the history books. As early as 1840, there was a widespread rumor that the Marquess of Waterford, an Irish nobleman, was the main suspect. Peter Haining opinioned that this might have been the result of his prior negative interaction with police officers and women. The Marquess, who earned the nickname the Mad Marquess, or the Mad Marquis, for his strange behavior and disdain for women, was frequently in the news in the late 1830s for drunken brawling, crude jokes, and vandalism. It is also known that he was in the London area at the time the first incidents occurred. The Marquess, quote, used to amuse himself by springing on travelers unawares, to frighten them, and from time to time others have followed his silly example. According to E. Cobham Brewer, who identified him as the perpetrator in 1880, some residents report that the Marquess was sighted in the woods near his estate, wearing animal furs and white oilskin, walking around barefooted, drunk in the winter. No one really knows if he was Spring-heeled Jack, and it's still unknown to this day. We hope that you liked the video, and if you did, please leave us a like and comment below and let us know your criticism and what kind of videos you'd like to see in the next episode. And if we're lucky, we'll get a subscribe from you. Thanks. And just remember, they're out there.